Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to share something personal with you, a story. A story about how I improved my English listening skills in just 30 days. Now let me be honest. Listening was always the hardest skill for me. I could read English. I could understand grammar. I even memorized vocabulary. But when people spoke fast, especially native speakers, I felt lost. Words blended together. I couldn't catch anything. It felt like they were speaking another language. So one day, I said to myself, enough. I want to change this. I want to understand English, not just on paper, but in real life. And I gave myself 30 days. Here's exactly what I did. Step by step. Step 1. I listened every day. No excuses. Let me be honest with you. The first step was also the hardest one. Not because it was difficult to do, but because it required something we often forget to practice. Discipline. When I told myself I will improve my listening in 30 days, I knew I had to create one simple habit. Listen to English every single day. No excuses, no skipping, not even for one day. It didn't matter if I was busy. It didn't matter if I was tired. It didn't matter if I had only 10 minutes. I made a promise to myself. English must be in my ears every day. And here's the thing. It wasn't about studying hard. It was about exposure. Just like when a child learns their first language, they don't sit at a desk with a grammar book. They just listen again and again, every day, for months and years. And that's how the brain learns to understand. So I thought, why not copy that? I started small. In the morning, while brushing my teeth, I'd play a short English podcast. On the way to work, I'd put on an English video. Even if I couldn't watch the screen, I'd just listen. At night, instead of scrolling social media, I'd choose one English video to end the day. Some days, I had more time, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Other days, only 15 minutes. But the point was not how much I listened. The point was that I listened every single day. No perfect time, no perfect plan, just consistent action. And something surprising happened. After about 5 to 6 days, I started looking forward to it. Listening to English became part of my routine. I began to enjoy it. I found voices I liked, channels I trusted, topics that inspired me. English no longer felt like a subject to study. It felt like a habit I wanted to keep. And the more I listened, the more my brain adjusted. At first, it was noise. Then I began catching words, then full phrases, then full ideas. And that only happened because I gave my brain a chance to hear English every day. So if you're serious about improving your listening, my first and biggest advice is this. Don't wait for the perfect time. Create a daily habit. Start with just 10 minutes. Do it while cooking, walking, driving, resting. It doesn't matter how or when. Just listen. Because real progress doesn't come from doing something once in a while. It comes from doing something every day, even in small amounts. No excuses, no pressure, just consistency. And I promise, if you give your ears English daily, they will reward you with understanding. Step 2. I chose topics I loved. Now let me tell you something important, and maybe a little surprising. The content you listen to matters just as much as how often you listen. In the beginning, I made the same mistake many learners make. I forced myself to listen to news, interviews, or English lessons that I didn't enjoy. Yes, the vocabulary was useful. Yes, the pronunciation was clear. But guess what? I was bored. My mind would drift after a few minutes. I would press pause. Or worse, I wouldn't even remember what I heard. That's when I realized something. If you don't care about what you're listening to, you won't stay with it. And if you don't stay with it, your brain won't learn. So I asked myself a simple question. What do I actually enjoy in my own language? My answer was stories, personal growth, travel, and motivation. So I went looking for those same things, but in English. And it was like opening a door to a whole new world. I found YouTubers who shared daily life in English. I listened to podcasts about habits and mindset. I watched short travel vlogs with natural, real conversation. And suddenly, listening didn't feel like study anymore. It felt like fun. I wasn't just practicing my English. I was enjoying the content. And that's the secret. When you love what you're listening to, you stay longer. You pay more attention. You don't give up after 2 minutes. You forget you're learning, and that's when real learning happens. I remember one night, I found a podcast episode about how to build confidence. It was something I really needed. I listened to the whole 25 minutes without pausing, and by the end, not only did I feel more motivated, I had learned 10 new words without even trying. That's the power of choosing content you love. It feeds your brain and also your heart. So if you want to improve your English listening, don't start with what's popular or academic. Start with what you already love. Are you into food, fashion, sports, gaming, self-help, stories, music, animals? Whatever it is, there's something in English for you. Trust me. The internet is full of real, interesting, funny, emotional, inspiring voices. Find them, follow them, listen to them. Not because you have to, but because you want to. And when you enjoy the journey, you'll be amazed at how fast you grow. Step 3. I used subtitles, but smartly. Now let's talk about something simple, but very powerful. Subtitles. When I started improving my listening, I felt lost without them. People spoke too fast. Words connected in strange ways. I wasn't sure where one word ended and the next one began. So I did what most learners do. I turned on English subtitles, and at first it helped a lot. I could read and listen at the same time. I started noticing how words were really pronounced, how going to became gonna, how did you sounded like did ya. I saw how real English was different from textbook English. But then I got comfortable, too comfortable. I started reading instead of listening. My eyes were doing all the work, and my ears were just sitting back. That's when I realized if I always use subtitles, I'll never train my ears. So I made a new plan, a smart plan. For the first 10 days, I used English subtitles, not translations, not my native language, only English. I wanted my brain to connect sounds with words directly, without going through another language. This stage helped me build a foundation, to recognize how real spoken English actually sounds. Then, for the next 10 days, I turned subtitles off. Yes, it was hard. Yes, I missed some words, but I didn't give up. I focused on the general meaning, not the details. I trusted my ears, even if they weren't perfect yet. Finally, in the last 10 days, I did a combination. First, I watched a video without subtitles. I tried to catch the main idea. Then I watched it again with subtitles to check what I missed. This method was amazing. I could feel my ears getting stronger. I could hear things I couldn't hear before. It was like turning up the volume on my listening skills. And you know what? I realized that you don't need to understand every word. You just need to understand enough to follow the message. That's how real-life conversations work too. So here's my advice. Use subtitles, but use them wisely. Don't depend on them forever. Use them to support your listening, not replace it. Train your eyes and your ears together at first, then let your ears lead the way. Because at the end of the day, real life doesn't come with subtitles, but your brain is smart, and if you train it step by step, it will surprise you. Step 4. I repeated, shadowed, and spoke. Listening is great, but if you only listen passively, your brain gets lazy. It's like watching someone exercise and expecting your body to get stronger. It doesn't work that way. So at some point in my 30-day journey, I knew I had to do more than just listen. I had to speak, not in a big conversation, not in a classroom, but on my own, in a quiet space, just me and the video or audio in front of me. And that's when I discovered something powerful, shadowing. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to someone speak and you try to repeat what they say, almost at the same time, like an echo. At first it felt strange. I couldn't keep up. I tripped over the words, but little by little, something started to happen. I began to hear the rhythm of English. I noticed where the speaker paused, where they connected words, where their voice went up and down. It was like music, and I was learning to sing along. But I didn't just shadow once. I used repetition. If I liked a sentence or a phrase, I played it again and again and again. I repeated it out loud until it felt natural in my mouth. I didn't worry about sounding perfect. I focused on feeling the flow. Sometimes I paused the video, repeated the line slowly, then played it again and shadowed it in real time. I turned my listening practice into speaking practice, and the results were amazing. I started to remember phrases automatically. I began using them in daily conversation. My pronunciation improved. My confidence grew. I felt less afraid to speak because the words were no longer new. I had already spoken them many times. And the best part? I didn't need a teacher. I didn't need a partner. I just needed a voice, a video, and the courage to repeat out loud. So here's my advice to you. Don't just listen with your ears. Use your mouth. Repeat what you hear. Shadow native speakers. Feel the words. Speak them, even if no one is listening. Because every time you repeat, you are training your brain, your tongue, and your confidence, all at the same time. And that's how listening turns into speaking. That's how input becomes output. That's how learning becomes real. Step 5. I didn't worry about understanding everything. Now let me be honest about something. In the beginning, I wanted to understand every single word. I thought, if I don't catch all the words, it means I'm not good enough. So every time I missed something, I paused, rewound, played again and again and again. It felt like a fight with the audio. And soon, I started to feel tired, frustrated, and even a little hopeless. Then one day, I changed my mindset. I told myself, you don't need to understand everything. You just need to understand enough. And that changed everything. I started to listen for the main idea, not every detail. I started to enjoy the flow of the conversation. If I caught 70%, great. If I caught 50%, still okay. I asked myself, do I understand the message? If the answer was yes, I smiled and moved on. Here's what I learned. Native speakers don't hear every word either. We all sometimes miss things, even in our own language, but we use context, tone, and keywords to guess the meaning. That's how real listening works. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. And guess what? When I stopped stressing, I started understanding more. My brain relaxed. I listened with curiosity, not fear. I trusted the process. And slowly, the words became clearer. The speed didn't scare me anymore. I stopped rewinding so much. I just listened and let my ears do their job. So here's my advice to you. Don't panic when you miss a word. Don't give up when you don't catch every sentence. Focus on progress, not perfection. Ask yourself, did I understand the topic? Did I catch the feeling? Can I tell what's happening? If yes, then you're doing great. Listening is not a test. It's a skill. And like any skill, it grows with time, practice, and patience. After 1 month, I noticed something amazing. I could understand podcasts without subtitles. I could watch movies and enjoy them. I felt more confident. I didn't panic when someone spoke fast. Was I perfect? No. But I was better, much better. And I knew if I could improve this much in 30 days, I could keep going. If listening is hard for you, don't give up. You're not alone. But also, don't just hope it will get better one day. Make a plan. Start small. Be consistent. Listen every day. Use topics you enjoy. Shadow, repeat, and keep going. Because the truth is, your brain is amazing. It just needs time and the right input. And if I can improve in 30 days, so can you. Thank you for listening to my story. I didn't make this video to say, look at me. I made it to say you can do it too. Improving your English listening doesn't require talent. It just takes time, patience, and consistency. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need expensive courses. You just need to start right where you are with what you have. So if you're ready, take that first small step today. Listen to something you love. Speak it out loud. Don't worry about being perfect. Just keep going. One day at a time. Because your English doesn't grow in one big moment. It grows in the quiet, small efforts, done again and again with heart. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's grow together and never stop learning.